treated like second-class citizens of the world. Our leaders run around begging for help when the solutions are right here at home with us. The future of this land is in the hands of every man and woman, young and old. Every one of us has a share.
Hi, David.
For the failure of this society. See, we're still slaves.
Sean, what's up?
Politically, we're still slaves. Politically, we're still slaves.
I'm trying to see if I can get this or the camera to work. Ooh. Ooh. Probably not. It's not even fully charged. I think I'm just gonna have to use it like that. Yeah. How are you guys doing? And I hope everyone is keeping safe in light of this coronavirus. Every now and then, sanitize your hand. Whether you're coming in contact with people or not, just get into the habit, and that's basically what I do. Right. This is the first installment of my live stream of Pilot Talk, and I just kind of want to try this weekly thing to just discuss some things as they affect Nigeria. Yeah, I do that on YouTube, but the hassle of getting it together sometimes it's setting it up and producing. It takes a longer time, and you can get the message out there even before then. Today, like I said in my post earlier today, we will be looking at talking about the prevalent reality about the coronavirus as it affects Nigeria, and we'll be focusing on. Sorry, one sec. We'll be focusing on how it affects us economically, operationally, and infrastructure. I know Sheung is an economist, so it's good to have you here. So I don't mind if I have any input. You could let me know, and we trash it out together. And without wasting time, obviously it's unprecedented all over the world what's happening, and every country is dealing with it differently. We could see that there was a time when China, because they originated in China, had the highest number of cases, and the last 24 to 48 hours, the United States happens to have the highest number of cases of coronavirus in the world. About 2-3 weeks ago, Europe was tagged as the epicenter of coronavirus in the world, and within a couple of days now, the United States is the epicenter of coronavirus in the world. So it shows how the dynamics can change quite quickly with this virus, and we hope that our people in the front line that are tackling this new reality, they get more, how do you want to put it, we need to support them more. And hopefully we can all root out this problem together once and for all. But we need to look at our own reality. The main thing is looking at our own reality as Nigerians. And of the 3 pointers I put out, how this whole thing is going to affect us economically, how it's going to affect us operationally, and infrastructurally, how can we actually deal with it. Okay, let's start with the operationally. Well, the first thing is, the way most countries have been going about it now is to just lock down the society. Juju Alpha is to lock down their countries, to just give them time to slow down the spread of the virus and not overwhelm their infrastructure. So, but lockdown in some societies are a lot easier than it is in other society. The harsh reality is, in some countries, they could be more forceful, which could be seen as invasion of people's rights. Like it was the case in, like, China, for example. So it was a bit aggressive. Italy took a very mellow tone initially, and it got a bit ramped up. Some society, because I've been told in Austria that the government imposes fine up to like thousands of euros if you flout the lockdown. In UK, it started as persuasion of the people to do the right thing, and gradually progressed to announcement or instruction of a lockdown by the Prime Minister. And from there, then it's going to, the police have been given more powers, and the police can actually, if you like, find people and stop people, to just make sure that this lockdown is enforced. So, but when you come, so, but also in line with that, people obviously understand the problem more than maybe in Nigeria, arguably. So now, when you do lockdown in Nigeria, you need to look at certain factors, and some of them are quite interlinked. When we talk about the economy, when we talk about the operation, and when we talk about the infrastructure. So first of all, when you say you lock down Nigeria, for example, so what exactly are you going to lock down? You're saying people should stay in their house, which is quite all right. When people stay in their house in the UK now, as David could attest to, when people stay in their house now, they still have the opportunity of going to the stores to buy things. So stores are open on agreement and understanding from the government. But in Nigeria, what store are you exactly going to ask to remain open? Because Nigeria does not operate the kind of commercial transaction, if you like, that happens in maybe the better part of Europe. For example, we like to go to our market to buy stuff. We like to go to our Idumota. We like to go to our Dube. Like to go to our Bodija. So not necessarily the ShopRite kind of thing, or Tesco kind of thing, or Asda kind of thing. So which means it's difficult. So if you close these marketplaces and people still have the opportunity of going out to buy things in maybe side shops, but the side shops may not necessarily have what you need. She only saying in India and Senegal, they got the police enforcing the lockdown. In India especially, the police flop. About the India, I saw that video on YouTube earlier today of people being flogged out, apparently like from out of a place of worship, which is it's funny, and at the same time it shows the harsh reality that some people just don't. You need to use force to actually enforce some things with some people, which in Nigeria we could say on one hand we might have to come to that, because sometimes don't want, but also we're not animals. You can't just go about flogging people. I saw a video of the task force in Lagos State earlier destroying people's wares and the stores that remain open. Two wrongs don't make it right. One, they ask you to lock down. The least you can do is just respect the lockdown, at least for a while, even if everything is going to go wild again. And the other thing is, when you ask people to lock down and you're enforcing the lockdown, there's no point destroying their properties. You just lock them down or arrest them if you need to. So now taking it out on the inanimate wares they have is quite unfortunate. So on that one, I was a bit disappointed at the way the two parties went about it. My camera is there. So you saying almost 1k euro here as fine. Where are you now? 1k euro. Okay. Because I know you've left Cyprus, so I don't know if you're still back in Cyprus or you're somewhere else or Nigeria did now. Anyway, so enforcing the lockdown is, oh yeah, you're back in Cyprus. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay, that's fine. Hope you're enjoying the place and hope you're staying safe. So that delivering this lockdown on an operational level is a massive task, and it's gonna be a big problem. Because people still open when you tell them not to. Some people will see it as an opportunity to actually meet friends, because obviously when you say operationally, you're saying some people, and yeah, I was gonna forget about that. Then people won't go to work, or some people won't go to work, and they stay at home to enforce the lockdown. And the people that are not employees, or that are self-employed, would have to enforce that themselves. So yeah, with the self-employed or freelancers, the market people, the artisans, the consultants, and what have you, enforcing this, it's a bit here and there. Because one, the Nigerian factor that people don't listen, the reality that people are worried about their own financial security, the fact that some people don't even believe this is real, the fact that some people believe that their faith will see them through this regardless of what you think. Some people think that some people listen to follow some leaders, maybe religious leaders or whoever, who tells them that, well, you can go about what you're doing, it's not a problem, that you'll be fine. So, and many factors like this affects how or why people will remain or will not stay indoor to enforce the lockdown for the reasonable period. But with regard to people that are employed, the pay as you earn people, there are two sides to that. You've got the private and the public sector. The private sector is always going to be a challenge because the business owners are worried about their businesses. They're worried about the going concern of their businesses and how they can be responsible for employees when they've got work but they can't give them work to do because of the lockdown. And I've spoken to a few friends in the private sector today who are either in management level or are just at tactical and operational level, as the case may be. And it's different. Some organizations have said, well, if you're on operational level, which means you're doing day-to-day on the floor kind of guy or girl, some organizations are magnanimous enough to say you can go, okay, stay at home for the lockdown. But the senior management remain. So they remain to be doing the work or doing all other things in the meantime. Some organizations are like, no, everyone should just have to keep working because we can't afford not to have you guys. And they stay. So that in itself is counterproductive because whether you say half of the people stay and half of the people go, the enforcement is meant for all. So the ones that are staying are not immune from this problem. So they'll probably still come in contact with people and still transmit this or get in contact with this. So that's not really a lockdown if you look at it from that perspective. With the public sector, you're absolutely right to look at the personified effects of this lockdown. Yeah, thanks, Shion. So with the public sector, the problem with the public sector, the first time when I talked to my folks and other people in the public sector, and they said, oh yeah, the government said that we should start working from home, I laughed. Because how can any sensible government in Nigeria tell anybody to be working from home. Might as well just tell them that, well, take a paid holiday, because that's what you're saying essentially. But saying you should be working from home is just a way of asking people, tying one hand behind people's back, because the reality is this. I make bold to say this, that 98% of Nigerians in the public sector do not have the resources to work from home, and the infrastructure to deliver work from home is not there. We have people that still work from home in Nigeria. That's hilarious. From yeah, exactly what I'm saying. We've had people who even have work email, but still print out emails yet, and that's actually a reality. People print out emails in Nigeria so they can read them, which defeats the purpose of having an email in the first place. When you have things like that, you've got poor internet connection. People don't even use internet in workplace, so let alone saying you do meetings on Skype or on online video platform or whatever. So how can people work from home? That itself, it's a problem. And I think that was ill thought out, and they just felt like, okay, well, lockdown. The other countries are saying people should work from home, but the countries that are saying people should work from home have measures in place to make that happen. The working from home has been a big thing in UK in the last 5 years, and it's been growing year on year, even before this happened. Businesses are putting days in their business continuity plans that, okay, well, what if we can't go to work? How would we work? And that, in essence, has made this transition a bit seamless for some people when you're looking at the operational side of things. But also, I think most of the public sector are saying that level 1 to 12 work from home and above, they stay in the office. They still do office work, and that's still counterproductive. If, for example, a husband who is on a higher level and a wife on a lower level, but the wife is probably working from home or has to stay at home, but the husband still goes to work. So if the husband comes in contact with this, the husband will still have to probably bring it back home, and that's the problem. I don't think a lot of people or the government thought about properly when they say people should be working from home. But I guess it's not. We can't really say it's anybody's fault. It's how you react to this problem or the reality that is important. Yeah, so that's the bit I've got about the operational side of it, so I don't dwell on it too much. And now, I don't know if I should do economy before. Yeah, let's talk about the economy. The economic side of it is in two strands. And I know economists, financial analysts, or financial experts will see this differently. But yeah, loosely, I've categorized it into two. We've got the macro and the micro. And for the purpose of this discussion, I'll say the macro is as it affects the country, and the micro is as it affects individuals. So, with the individuals, when you say work from home, then I'm asking myself that what relief package have you actually prepared for people? Shout out to all those philanthropists out there that have started coming out in the last few days and started donating. And I know many more will probably do more in the next, in the coming days, months, or weeks ahead. And likes of UBA Foundation, Femi Otedola, Atiku Abubakar, Dangote, and to name a few. Regardless of how much anyone contributes, because we need to put this out there, anyone that contributes to combat this virus, it's philanthropical. Whether you think someone stole money before, or you think someone's giving you back the money they've taken from, no, that's not the main thing here. The main thing is anyone that contributes is actually doing something for the betterment of the world, and not necessarily. I'm saying in essence, we don't have to see it differently. Discussion about corruption and where people get their money is a different thing. So, and you you look at it from that point of view that, okay, people do not have economic and financial security even before this coronavirus incident happened. And we are here today saying, oh yeah, y'all should just go home and start working from home, and just lock down. We need to lock down for the foreseeable future, stop people from coming into the country, stop interstate travel. You need to get police on the street, get the soldiers and all that. And the question is, can you imagine, what should people be eating? What should they be eating? Well, yeah, you need to go to the market and stockpile, because from Friday there'll be a total lockdown. How are people meant to survive this? So is it the bags of rice? Is it the bags of rice that you distribute that people are going to eat? So if you give them rice, are they meant to cook it with stone? Or are they meant to eat raw rice? That's just one thing. So people's needs are different, and I don't think this government our government or the institutions have what it takes to actually provide the basic need of people in the short term, because we've never seen signs of it and it has never really been a robust social welfare to take care of things like this. So yeah, they distribute rice during the election as incentive for people to vote for them, to buy people's votes, but that's not taking care of people's primary need. That's just tipping people, if you like. And I just find that worrying that, okay, well, the reality on ground is people cannot survive on their own, on what they've got in the house. A good number of Nigerians do not actually benefit directly, earn their revenue or their income directly from the government. They have to go to the street and hustle. So I have to go. Yeah, you're talking about your bus drivers. Bus drivers aren't gonna make money because you've asked people not to go out. You're talking about petrol stations or petrol attendants. They're probably not gonna make as much as they make because people aren't gonna be traveling, let alone buying fuel. You're talking about people working in hospitality, hotels, and the rest of them. Who's lodging when everyone is in a lockdown? So when you look at it from this perspective, then people are not generating income, and I'm not seeing the palliative measures there to actually lessen the blow. I know that the National Assembly in their meeting this week and the intervention this week, and to be honest, I've not fully digested what was discussed in the House, and they said that they giving people tax breaks, so business owners don't let people go because they're giving them tax breaks on the pay as you earn and the rest of it. And I'm here like, how is that even enough? Pay as you earn deferment is not going to be enough to help in this situation, because you're talking about pay as you earn of an employee when the business is probably going to lose 1/12, if not a quarter, of their revenue. We don't know when this is going to end. We don't know how quickly it will end. We don't know what the knock-on effects is going to have even when it ends. So we don't know what the economic and fiscal landscape of the country will be. Yeah, what are the incentives? Exactly, Sean. So what are the incentives? So we don't know what the landscape will be. So these are really trying times when you look at it from that point of view. And so yeah, and I'm looking at it from also the pay-as-you earners that are working in public sector even as well. I feel sorry for them. I've got folks that work in the public sector, and one of the first things I thought of is that, are they even going to get paid? I don't think so, because some of them are just coming out of the woods with regard to the unpaid salary or months of unpaid salary. Some states have not even paid it. Some states have asked, the employees to forgo the old salaries and just jumping into new ones. And I'm looking at the reality that with the current reality on ground, would they even be able to afford salary? You're telling people to go home. One, you're giving them nothing to go home with. And we're looking at the numbers now. It doesn't add up. It doesn't look like you're even going to be able to pay them in the near future. So it smells trouble and doom, really. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the problem we have right there, right now. On the micro scale, there's more, but those are the key ones that I can think of. On the macro scale, on macro level, petrol, let me even check now, because as at yesterday when I checked OPEC baskets, petrol was at $24 per barrel, and that is scary. Oh, actually, it's at $26 per barrel now. Yeah, potato. So 26, well, let's just say $27 per barrel, because it's 26.94. So $27 per barrel. We had a budget that was set at $57 per barrel. Yeah, we've lost $30 per barrel on our budget. So that means, however you want to look at it, that can never be a functioning budget. Yeah, I know that they've introduce budget cuts, but my little understanding, and the economists out there can help me out, my little understanding is budget cuts is just a short-term measure. When you have your budget or the expected revenue is more than halved by you've lost more than half of the expected revenue, I think there has to be a massive restructuring or supplementary budget as quickly as possible to address the new reality, because before you know it, we could find ourselves in recession again overnight. Sharon is saying nope, they won't have the ability to pay. The country will be reeling in public debt soon. Crude oil, our only competitive source of foreign trade, is presently at $26 per barrel and dropping. Yeah, it was 24, now it's back to 26. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's my point exactly. So it keeps dropping, and that is the only source of income we have. And we've been talking about it for way too long. That we need to promote mixed economy. And that has never happened, because I believe we should be in a position where if anything happens to oil, if the worst happens, I don't want to even think of anything worse than what we are in right now happens, we should have something that can actually get us through the interim period. Like, okay, well, for 3 months, yeah, we just have to rely on cocoa, but after 3 months, if we don't get this sorted, we're in trouble. But we do not have that luxury at all. When the oil price in the international market drops, we start running helter-skelter. So that's where we found ourselves, which is quite a shame of a country, for a country with the huge and vast mineral resources and natural resources that we have, fertile lands that we have. I'm in the UK here, and I eat yam every day. A box of yam costs about 20 pounds, and I'm guessing that's around 10,000 naira. And when I check the box of the yams I eat here, they come from Ghana. And sometimes I just like, okay, well, all of them, I've not seen a box of yam that they say, okay, this is from Nigeria. Yams, they don't harvest yams, they don't plant yams in UK. So, and I was just like, why can't we do it? In fact, most of the Indomies, I know Indomie is a Nigerian company, that I eat in the UK are even made in Ghana, which is strange. So that's the thing. We've not really helped ourselves with other exports apart from oil. We kind of, each time things like this happen, it's a kick in the nuts for Nigeria. It's a sorry and pathetic situation we found ourselves. Sorry and pathetic situation. So, with that happening, I know that there will be a lot about borrowing. I'm not even going to dwell too much on the dangers of borrowing right now, because at the end of the day, right now, the main thing is to fix the problem. Countries are going in debts as well. I think Germany too raised their debt level. Germany is facing this with I think over 700 billion euros, something ridiculous like that. US is facing it with $2 trillion. You don't think US had $2 trillion sitting somewhere to just deal with this nonsense? Yeah, they might have a huge reserve, but they don't have $2 trillion somewhere. They've got a huge trade deficit with China, I think. So UK is facing this with AY. Nice of you to join me. Wave you back. So, and you don't think they've got these huge resources sitting somewhere to deal with this? So it's an absolute mess right now with every country. And there was this joke. I was talking to my old man, and I was like, well, so we're talking about this problem. I was like, Dad, this is a serious problem, and unfortunately, Nigeria may not get the get out of jail that they always get, where they'll say, oh, there's problem. You know, when you're a prodigal son, you spend all your money anyhow, and you just run to your big brother or your big dad. Okay, give me some money, and they just give you that, so you don't disturb me. Just take something. They don't have the luxury. Every country is facing this problem. They will have to meet their own the bleed now, the economic bleeding that they have now. They're gonna have to meet it, arrest the bleeding at some point in the near future. So, which means they won't have enough to splooge around for you people to waste. So my dad was now like, Omo, all these G7 people, they'll have to help us, because there's no way, if they don't help us, we are in trouble. But that's actually that it's funny, and it is true as well. Because that's how we've always lived our lives as Nigerians. We expect handouts every single time. Handouts from other countries of the world. So we can't pioneer anything. We can't, okay, I'm just gonna like go into the infrastructure side of it from there. We can't pioneer anything. We're talking about this coronavirus now. I've not even seen. Countries are making assiduous efforts to champion or pioneer the cure of coronavirus. And I've been hearing some ridiculous hopes out there that, oh yeah, we defeated Ebola, we're going to defeat coronavirus. Yeah, you defeated Ebola because it was your problem then, but at the end of the day, we rooted the Ebola virus out, but I can't remember for a fact if there was actually a cure to Ebola virus. So it's more or less the same as we have now. Yeah, people are being cured of coronavirus in Nigeria and in other places, but let's not kid ourselves. Let people not take too much credit. These ailments so far have been curing themselves. Yeah, what people have been doing is helping out to manage the ailments and symptoms in people. You help them to get if people have respiratory issues which comes with the virus, you help them breathe better, oxygen, ventilators, and the rest of it. If people have temperature, you manage the temperature and likes of it. So when you tell me that 6 people are better, and I'm just like, what nonsense is everyone saying? People are meant to get better because the fatality rate of this is not as high. But every life counts. False hope. People love the sense of false hope. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I will get that every single day. So every life counts, even the ones that are dying. And sometimes, and now it's like, okay, well, the only case we've had that is dead so far is because he had underlying conditions. Should he have died because he had underlying conditions? Is that not the whole reason why your health institutions, your health infrastructure should be up to scratch, so people do not die of their underlying conditions, unless it's a determinant of their life, or if it's something that's irreversible. So because he had underlying conditions, is that a ticket for him to just die? No. I've been in situations where people I know, friends, there was a particular friend, and someone is in this, one of the people here know the person I'm talking about, lost his dad because there was no oxygen in the hospital. There was no oxygen in the hospital. So it's a shame. And now we are in this situation where we need to, this is not a problem that you address in ones or twos. It is potentially a problem you address in hundreds and thousands, and we don't even have the infrastructure to even say we don't want it to be overwhelmed. Even the ones that have a robust infrastructure are saying their facilities have been overwhelmed. Do you think Italy just enjoy having to make choices between senior citizens and young people? In Italy, they're making choices between whether to keep old and young people, and they're letting old people die just to save the young. If we're faced with that reality in Nigeria, we all know the answers. I was talking to AY yesterday. We all know the answers. These people, the people that are running this country, are the senior citizens. They won't leave. They won't allow themselves to die so the young can leave. No. People that cannot give the young chance will definitely not forgo their lives for the future of the young, because the young are the future of tomorrow. No, they won't do that. And whether it was a rumor or it was genuine, it was said that when the chief of staff to President Buhari got tested and infected with coronavirus, that 2 ventilators are available in the Gwagwalada isolation center, I think, and one of them had to be moved to the White House, leaving 1 ventilator in the isolation center. And you ask yourself that if there are 2 things, if you people cannot actually provide, let's even say the rest of us, you people have left us to die or to hell with whatever. You people are so greedy that you couldn't even provide enough amenities for yourselves where you are, and you still have to steal from the common man. Yeah, you steal from the top from them, and you still have to take from them what they've got, the little they have to share. 2 ventilators in an isolation center in Abuja is absolutely ridiculous. It is the height of ridicule. New York, the governor of New York was saying he was having it with Donald Trump the other day or today. I was reading in the news that New York needs 30,000 ventilators. New York need 30,000 ventilators. I'm not sure that the whole of Nigeria we have up to. Oh, I stand to be corrected. 10,000 ventilators. US is a 300 million country. We are a 200 million country. That's the reality. So, what are we now saying? So you have to, and you still have to take 1 to Aso Rock. Apparently, Aisha Buhari was saying it in an event a couple of days ago, that the hospital or the clinic in Aso Rock, where they are meant to be treating the first and second family or the presidency, does not have a syringe, but they're building new structures, which is what Nigeria has always been about. Show off and not actually Timmy Kwegmedas. That's what Yoruba people used to call it. I don't know how to say that in English, so I won't even try. So, the infrastructure is lacking significantly, and it's a shame that we are in this situation. Part of the problem with the infrastructure is leadership. Leadership and infrastructure, they go hand in hand. I could have made this 4 points, but yeah, leadership and infrastructure go hand, because the leadership is meant to provide the infrastructure, or sometimes the infrastructure creates better leadership or better services. However you want to call it, or however you see it. We have a situation where the chief of staff to the president, I've said it time and time again, and I can't get tired of saying it, of how annoyed I am. Fine, I'm not even going to get into whether it's right for the chief of staff to the president to go to Germany for to discuss our power challenges when there's a minister of power there. But yeah, it could have been anybody in government. No one cares. Just get us power. But when he got to Germany, I think Germany had just about 1,000 cases. When he was leaving, the cases in Germany was close to 5,000. These are the people that are leading us in that country. You left Germany, got back to Nigeria, and you did not even think that, oh yeah, I might have been compromised, I might have been exposed, I need to self-isolate, I need to limit the people that I come in contact with. And you feel you need to. He virtually met everyone in the Federal Executive Council. He went to the wedding of the daughter of Inspector General of Police. He was in contact with the richest and probably the most important man in Nigeria. I'm talking about Aliko Dangote. And he went to meet with Yaya Bello to greet him about the to give him his condolences about the death of his mother. And you just think, how can you even be more reckless than you've been? Let's even say that, okay, you're not even tested negative, but the fact that you put yourself in that position where the whole world have been banging on about this, that if you've been in troubled or areas where this thing has been happening, you need to self-isolate for 14 days, some even saying till 21 days, depending on how close you were. And you just feel you could go about and doing this nonsense. It's a shocker. I can't, nobody can excuse that. And regardless of what your affinity is for Buhari, APC, PDP, so you think, oh yeah, he's trying to solve our power. That is bollocks. That is nonsense. The bottom line is, these people do not have the intellect, or they are not sensible enough to actually think, oh right, I'm this important to the leadership of this country. I should not put myself at risk. I should not put people at risk. Because what is done is, we've got a president, a frailing president I might add, who's been sick for the better part of the last few years, hailing president, and he's 77 years old, that man, officially, and he compromised the president of Nigeria with his stupidity and recklessness. Whether you like Buhari or not, he compromised Buhari. He compromised Oshibajo, because he met with Oshibajo as well, and he had to go into isolation until he tested negative. But like I said, Oshibajo looks like someone that washes his hands, so yeah. So yeah, to be frank, and that means that you just compromise the leadership of a whole country. Imagine you infected the president, you infected the vice president, you are infected as a chief of staff, and probably a large number of the Federal Executive Council, because Nigeria is a hugging and shaking country where everything's about handshake, and hugging. Yeah. So, and you infect a lot of people, then you throw leadership of the country in turmoil at a time where the country needs strong leadership and a sense of direction, so we can tackle this problem head on. It is absolutely annoying, and it's a disaster that we end up with this people and the level of buffoonery that these people show on a daily basis.